LensVid coverage of IBC 2023 is brought to you by Ulanzi Video Accessories, Small Rig, Big Dreams, Jiyun, Make It Real, and Godox, Embrace Creative Possibilities.
We're here at IBC in Amsterdam with Blackmagic and Mr. Simon Hall himself, talking about DaVinci Resolve, some of the recent updates and some of the quick coming future changes to make it even better. Yeah. Simon, what can you say about the new update that just came out yesterday, right?
Yeah, so the new update, the biggest update that we've done, I don't know if you've seen, we've launched, funnily enough, it's kind of not in Resolve, but it works with Resolve. It's called Blackmagic Cloud. Now, we've always had Blackmagic Cloud, but now what we have is media storage.
Yes.
So now what you have the ability to do is you can shoot on an iPhone using our new app that is free, and you can shoot on that, and it will directly upload files to our cloud storage and directly down into DaVinci Resolve. So what we've done is we've taken away some of the complications that can be had about sending files to a cloud and then getting them down. Because the most important thing about media is not so much kind of getting it into a cloud-based storage system. It's the most important thing is getting it to the creative at the other end of the camera.
Right.
And what we've done is we've given people the ability to sort of automate that process. So you can do it through our new app on the iOS, or at the moment our Ursa Broadcast G2 camera also has the same function in it. So you can use the menu on the camera if the camera's hardwired in, or if you're out in the field, you can actually plug the iPhone in and use the 5G connection from the phone to upload the files.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. It's a great workflow. What about other cameras? If I'm shooting with, we shoot with Sony's, and my idea always is to make that workflow better, from the field to the editor and back to me. Like, we've been using a lot of the tools that you've provided on the cloud, collaborating, which are really great. If you haven't tried those, really test them out. But has this new update improved that workflow?
Yes, so the new update, because again, as you said, the one question we always had is, with Blackmagic Cloud before, as you said, you had projects in the cloud, and we got a lot of questions about people going, well, what do you do about your media? And we had a very clever way of dealing with it. So we had our cloud storage products, where you could use a Dropbox sync, so you could just drop files on your cloud storage and sync via Dropbox. But what we wanted to do is make that process even easier, whereby, yes, you can just sort of record on a camera and it sort of automate the process directly. Admittedly, it's just for Blackmagic cameras.
Right.
But you can actually use, so if you've got a project folder structure in Resolve, you can take the files from your Sony camera, drop them into the project folder, and it will auto-generate proxies, upload them to the cloud. Then other people who are using sort of the same project will be able to download them. So you can't do the direct camera upload.
But it's still an improved workflow.
Oh, yes, yeah. It's
my editor doesn't need to receive proxy. I mean, it's automatic. It's there for him when the project is up on the cloud already.
Yes, yeah. If you pull the files in to the Blackmagic, so the DaVinci Resolve project, they will automatically create proxies and upload and download them for him as well. So
is it a lengthy process?
It all depends on the speed of your internet. I mean,
that's the only limitation?
That's the only limitation. But what we have is you've got the ability to generate proxies on the fly.
Right.
So in Resolve, so for example, we use B-raw.
Yeah.
So we have B-raw files that are small for raw files, because they're very usable in post. However, they're still quite big to upload. So what you can do is you can import Blackmagic raw files into your DaVinci Resolve project. It will auto-generate proxies and send them up to the cloud, so your editor can start using them. But in your project, you can choose to use those generated proxies or switch to the B-raws as well.
Right.
Also through the cloud process, you can sync your raw files as well. So for example, if you want to use your original media files, you can sync both proxies and raws. So
is that a menu setting, or?
It is a menu setting. Yeah, it's just a project setting in Resolve. So what it will do is it will upload proxies first, and then it will
start
upload.
Working on them already, and then if he needs to render the project on his end, he'll also have access.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yeah. So, you know, if you've got editors and colorists, the editor can start piecing things together.
Yeah.
And as the, you know, the high res raw files are then downloaded, the colorist can then in the same project start to grade while the editor's still editing, but you're still receiving files from the field as well. And all of that is automated through Resolve.
Is there some kind of a status window that you can see how many files are?
Yeah, so within Resolve, any file that you upload, sort of any file that you import into Resolve, it has a little cloud icon in the thumbnail,
Right.
and that shows it's uploading.
Yeah.
Also as well, you can obviously get into the Blackmagic cloud storage yourself.
Right.
You just go into our internet interface, you
Right.
know, you just go into your internet browser, log into your cloud account, and you'll be able to see your projects and you'll be able to see the files from in there. So at any point, for example, somebody goes, I just need to see this clip. If you want, you can share a project with them and they can download directly from the cloud.
Thank you for that.
That's okay.
I really like that. And this update 18.6, any more AI advancement?
There's no more AI advancement in 18.6. We've just looked at sort of little feature requests and things that we thought needed updating. But the AI, we did a lot of AI in Resolve 18.5 and then going back to 18. So, you know, the neural engine in Resolve is where all the AI is done. It's great because the neural engine works with modern hardware. So it works really well with Apple M1, M2 because that has neural engine processors. NVIDIA GPUs have the tensor cores. So the neural engine works really well with those. And the AI runs throughout the pages in Resolve. And it's designed, you know, as a lot of people think, this AI is not designed to kind of replace editors and things. It's just designed to make jobs that were quite sort of time consuming much, much easier. Like, for example, you know, if you start in the media page, people spent a lot of time sort of sorting through media.
It takes a while.
So we've got a couple of things in there. So we've got things like facial recognition. So if you've got lots of different characters, you can get Resolve to analyze the clips and it will create smart bins and group people by their faces. So if you
go in there and say, look at the smart bin and say, that's Simon.
Yeah.
And
every clip that I show up in will be in that smart bin.
Nice.
We've also got audio classification that's really clever. So you can drop a load of video files in or audio files, analyze them.
Right.
And what you get is you get categories. So it'll categorize your audio. So for example, it can recognize if something is dialogue, if something is video only, something is audio only. It's even more clever. If you go into the subcategories, it can tell if things are a dog barking or a car going past or crowd cheering.
Can you search by keywords, or maybe in a future update, can you get a list of all the keywords that it automatically produces and then search them?
Yeah, so in Resolve, if you look in the sort of in your bins, in any media pool, you can see the bins. And for the audio, the categories will appear. But then if you click on subcategories, it'll give you a big list of everything it can search through. You know, everything from media importing to editing, because again, you know, people editing interviews, for example, normally what an editor would do would have to go along and search and try and find it. But what the neural engine does in Resolve now, it uses audio transcribe.
Right.
So you can get it to analyze the clip and it will transcribe the audio and show you it in a window. That is then searchable. You can also edit from that. So if you just highlight a sentence, you can then just say, right, append that into the timeline. So you can edit from text. And again, it's just a time-saving device. You know, if you've got, you know, if you sort of have long politician interviews where they go on for an hour, you can transcribe it all and just pick the bits that you need really quickly.
We've been using that and it's a great tool. But I gotta say that in our international situation, we don't have access to all the needed language transcripts.
Yeah.
Is that coming? Are you working on more? What's the limitation there?
I don't think there's any limitation. As I said, that was introduced in 18.5. So we always like to listen to feedback. So again, the more feedback we get, the more languages that we'll add. You know, we started out with English and there's been quite a few languages added. And, you know,
Are there more in the 18.6? You know?
There aren't any more in 18.6 at the moment. But
it's like 14 languages right now, right?
I think so. Yeah,
We've got a couple of thousand to go, right?
Yeah, and this is the thing. We've got a couple of thousand to go. Hopefully, we'll get there. But yeah, this is a new feature, and it's an ongoing process. So over time,
Can you talk about some of the trajectory of that feature? What more will be or at least hypothetically will be able to do with that kind of with the neural engine analyzing audio or speech?
truthfully, yeah, with that, I don't know. I mean, for what it does at the moment with the audio transcribe and obviously the creating of subtitles as well. Yeah, truthfully, I don't know where it's going to go from here. The neural engine feature, it runs through lots of different things. So, you know, one of my favorites is the object mask.
Yeah.
So when you are grading, when you're grading, you just want to isolate certain sort of individual objects, say, in an image, so you can grade them separately. Now, in Resolve, you've always been able to isolate color. You've got things like the qualifier where you can isolate color, but what about a certain person or a certain object? And what you used to have to do is either use power windows and sort of roto that and try and track it.
Forever.
Whereas now with the sort of object mask, you just draw a line over something and the AI goes, oh, okay, it's that. That's what you want to do.
It's so quick too, I gotta say. I'm every time I'm amazed at how quickly that responds and the great results you get. And it works really great with one of the newer features that came out in one of the previous updates, the relight tool.
Yes, the relight tool. Yeah.
You can do some amazing things with that. We talked
Yeah.
about that on LensVid Talk. We have a little talk show
Yeah.
on the YouTube channel. It's a great. Can you maybe give an example of how you would use that?
Oh, so the relight tool, again, as you say, because the AI can sort of work out what's sort of in the 3D space and what should be lit and what surfaces shouldn't be lit. I like it a lot of the time. If you have shots, for example, where you may have a sort of, you know, maybe an indoor bit and an outdoor bit. So, you know, for example, you're shooting in a marquee, for example, and you have a shot filming inside, but then you've got light coming in from the outside. What you can do with the relight tool is you can position it so you can naturally relight this interior, but leave the exterior alone. And again, even doing that with power windows, it would be quite a time-consuming process. Whereas the relight tool, you can just position it to say, right, I want to relight this and get some natural light inside and have it bounce off the surfaces, but your outside light remains exactly as it was.
Yeah.
And that again.
So basically, in post, you're designing your set.
Yeah, in post, you can, in theory, yeah, relight your set. As long as you've got enough dynamic range. Obviously, if it's totally dark,
Right.
You can't just lift it up from nothing. But yeah, in theory, you can relight your scene as you see fit.
Can you tell us a little bit about the general trajectory of AI within DaVinci?
Again, I don't know sort of the trajectory. I think our philosophy around it is we just use AI. We want to give people the tools to do the more creative bits and the less laborious bits. We've often been like that. We want to give people the tools to do more editing, to make their edits better and their grades better and have visual effects and get their projects looking the way they want, without having to do lots of the sort of the time-consuming stuff that can slow a production down.
I think that's a great philosophy. Leave the hard work to the robot, right? And we can create more things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Simon.
My
for
pleasure.
Your time. Thank
Not a
you
problem.
for this great space that you provided us. We're gonna go see your new camera.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, it's just around this wall.
We'll do that in another video.